step a little bit closer? Thank you.
Let me know. Y'all ready? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Testing 1 2. Good. All right. Well, I'm Deputy Chief Maria Ituria. For those that need it, Maria Yturria. Initially providing information on the situation that we have going on over here. This incident started about 8:55 this morning when the power company, an individual with the power company, came out to do some work at a house. The individual from that house came out, pointed a gun at the individual from the power company, telling her to step away, get off the property. She did, and she called 911. 2 deputies arrived on scene. When those 2 deputies arrived, that individual was outside, started screaming at the deputies, speaking profanities, telling them to get off the property. They attempted initially to make contact, and he was not responsive. He was just belligerently yelling at them. He went back inside. They attempted again to try to make contact with him. He came out of the house and began firing. He shot multiple times at those deputies. They decided to hold their position and call for additional units. As you can see, additional units did arrive, as well as our negotiators. They attempted to negotiate. We created a crime scene over here to try to secure it. Got any individuals that we thought might be in harm's way away from here, and they attempted negotiations. Those negotiations went on by PA and phone for roughly an hour, and he was non-responsive. Following that, we got additional units out here for them to safely be able to approach. This entire time he has been coming out and displaying his weapon and going back in. When we got units out here, our special response team came out here so that they can approach the situation. They did attempt safely to do it, and they tried to negotiate through their PA system as well, which was obviously did not work. That individual then came out, pointed the gun at the deputies, and went back inside. We did deploy less lethal. He went back in, came back out a second time, and started firing at the deputies, at which time they did return fire. The individual was struck. He was then transported to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. As you can see, the situation is still ongoing right now. It is still very early on in the investigation. I will tell you that at this point, we are investigating some suspicious packages in the house.
Were you had any dealings with this individual before?
Yes, he is very well known to us. So yes, we have had dealings with him in the past.
Were they similar to this type of situation?
They have been aggravated in nature, yes.
Did he have like a mental health disorder?
Not that we are aware of.
Can you clarify how many were shot at and how many were pronounced dead?
So the only one that is pronounced dead is the individual, the suspect. Deputies, we had multiple deputies shoot. I don't want to give you an incorrect number. It was 5 or 6.
And this individual, was he associated with a power company?
The individual in the home?
Yes.
No.
And was that individual alone in the home? Was anybody else in there with him?
No. After the situation ended, we did go in to attempt to clear the house, and there was nobody else in the residence.
What type of weapon was he brandishing that made officers retreat initially?
He initially didn't brandish a weapon. He came out shooting at our deputies. The 2 individual deputies that were the initial ones on scene, as soon as they arrived and exited their vehicle, he shot at them with a pistol.
Can you tell about the different agencies that came out to assist you all?
So we had Columbia Fire on standby because we never know what's going to happen, and we also had Richland EMS to be on standby with us, and the rest are all Richland County deputies.
Any approximate age of the suspect, anything like that you can give us?
We're not going to release any of that information at this point. I will tell you it is very early on in the investigation, and we will release more information as well as identify the deputies that were involved in the shooting. We're just not going to do it right now. We need to make sure that his family is notified before we release any of his information.
And can you describe the home that this individual was in? Was it an apartment or a mobile home or a house? And were there other people in danger?
So there was not initially other people in danger, because as soon as the situation began, we made sure to evacuate the area of those that would be there. As you can see, there's also individuals from businesses, because it's right across from a business, so we evacuated the businesses as well. And it is a single residential home.
Can you talk about the traffic? When is the road two nuts going to be cleared?
So we're working on that right now. As soon as, again, we can determine what's in the residence and how far we need to keep the location evacuated, we'll be sure to open up the traffic. All right. Thank you very much.